Hello students. We have studied the direct method and assumed mean method to find the mean. Now we will study one more method. We can find the mean of the data using the formula x bar is equal to a plus u bar g. Now we will see this with an example. The weekly payment of 150 workers in an insurance scheme is given in the following frequency table. Find the mean of weekly payment using step deviation method. The data is as given in the below table. Weekly wages in rupees and number of workers. 1000 to 2000 rupees 15 workers. 2000 to 3000 rupees 35 workers. 3000 to 4000 rupees 60 workers. 4000 to 5000 rupees 40 workers. Solution. Assumed mean A is equal to 3500. Create the following table. Class, that is weekly wages in rupees. Class mark, that is xi. Di is equal to xi minus A, that is xi minus 3500. Ui is equal to di divided by g. Frequency fi is number of workers. And finally FIUI. Let's first write down the values in the first column, that is classes. 1000 to 2000, 2000 to 3000, 3000 to 4000, 4000 to 5000. Let's write down the corresponding class mark values. 1500, 2500, 3500, 4500. Let's write down the DI values, that is xi minus 3500. 1500 minus 3500 is equal to minus 2000. 2500 minus 3500 is equal to minus 1000. 3500 minus 3500 is equal to 0. 4500 minus 3500 is equal to 1000. Now let's calculate UI, that is di divided by g. The GCD of all values of di is 500, therefore g is equal to 500. Minus 4, minus 2, 0 and 2. Let's write down the frequency, that is number of workers. 15, 35, 60 and 40. Summation Fi is equal to 150. Let's calculate and write down the values for FIUI. Minus 60, minus 70, 0 and 80. Now here summation FIUI is equal to minus 50. The mean of UI is found by the following formula. U bar is equal to summation FIUI divided by summation Fi, equal to minus 50 divided by 150 equal to minus 1 upon 3 equal to minus 0.33. Fill in the values in the following formula. X bar is equal to A plus U bar G to find the mean. Therefore, X bar is equal to 3500 plus minus 0.33 multiplied by 500 is equal to 3500 plus minus 165 equal to 3500 minus 165 is equal to 3335. Therefore, the mean of the workers' weekly income is 3335 rupees. Now, in this method, the calculations are reduced still further. As some values are negative and some are positive, the total is even smaller. In case of larger data, example calculations related to population of bigger cities in a state, the values are in lakhs. In this case, this method is easier and useful. Solve examples. The following table shows the fees collected from the patients in a clinic. Find the mean of the fees by step deviation method. The data is as given below. Fees in rupees and number of patients. 0 to 500 rupees 3 patients. 500 to 1000 rupees 5 patients. 1000 to 1500 rupees, 22 patients. 1500 to 2000 rupees, 15 patients. 2000 to 2500 rupees, 2 patients. 2500 to 3000 rupees, 3 patients. In this case, when the number of scores, that is the number of workers in 2 consecutive classes, is very low, it is convenient to club them. So, in the above example, we club the classes 0 to 500, 500 to 1000, 2000 to 2500, 2500 to 3000, as the number of workers in these classes is less. So, we will club them as 0 to 1000 and 2000 to 3000. Therefore, the new table is as follows. Fees in rupees, number of patients. 0 to 1000 rupees, 8 patients. 1000 to 1500 rupees, 22 patients. 1500 to 2000 rupees, 15 patients. 2000 to 3000 rupees, 5 patients. Solution: let assumed mean A is equal to 1250. Let's write down all the values in the table. Class values are mentioned in rupees. Class mark xi. Di is equal to xi minus A, that is xi minus 1250. Ui is equal to di divided by g. Frequency, that is fi, and fi ui. Let's write down all the classes. 0 to 1000, 1000 to 1500, 1500 to 2000, 2000 to 3000. Let's write down the class mark, that is xi. 500, 1250, 1750, 2500. Let's calculate di, that is xi minus 1250. 500 minus 1250 is equal to minus 750. 1250 minus 1250 is equal to 0. 1750 minus 1250 is equal to 500. 2500 minus 1250 is equal to 750. Let's calculate ui, that is di divided by g. Examining all di, GCD is 250. Therefore, G is equal to 250. Minus 3, 0, 2, 3. Let's write down the frequency. 8, 22, 15, 5. Here, summation Fi is equal to 50. Let's calculate Fi ui. Minus 3 multiplied by 8 equal to minus 24. 0 multiplied by 22 equal to 0. 2 multiplied by 15 equal to 30. 3 multiplied by 5 is equal to 15. Summation Fiui is equal to 31. U bar is equal to summation Fiui upon summation Fi is equal to 31 upon 50 is equal to 0.62. U bar G is equal to 0.62 into 250 is equal to 155. X bar is equal to A plus U bar G is equal to 1250 plus 155 is equal to 1405. Therefore, the average of fees collected is equal to 1405 rupees. What did we learn? Step deviation method. First, create the table. Write the classes and class marks. Take the assumed mean as A. Write the values of di in the column using di equal to xi minus A. Find G, that is the GCD of all values of di. Find the mean of ui, that is u bar. Find the mean by using the formula x bar equal to A plus U bar G. Exercise. Following table shows the amount of loan given to the farmers by a bank. Find the mean of amount given by the bank by step deviation method. The following table shows percentage of marks scored by 10th standard students from a school studying in 5 different divisions. Find the mean of the percentage by step deviation method.